Hi, Jay Van Zeeland here for Pine Mountain. I wanted to do the vlog this week on something a little bit different than I normally do. Pine Mountain is celebrating our 80th anniversary this year, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the history of the place. In 1939, Fred Pabst from the Pabst Brewing Company family had started up a tow rope company called Ski Tows Incorporated, and he wanted to be able to show off his product. So he had created actually 3 hills within the local area. Granite Peak in 1938, started Pine in 1939, as well as he started Mount Ripley up in Houghton in 1939. And he was doing this to be able to show off his product of the ski tow. And one of the things that's interesting, it was a gasoline powered ski tow, and actually what it was the back end of a car. And he had somebody that would stand in there and adjust the gas pedal in order to be able to speed it up or slow it down. And there was also just kind of a small little modest warming shack for people to come on into. If you're familiar with Pine Mountain, the initial lift started somewhere right around where our deck is, and then went all the way up to the top of Hematite Hill, and the hill was basically just that open face that you can see as you drive into us today. Simultaneous to that is when they started building the ski jump, and the ski jump had been kind of established ski jumping in this area for quite a number of years. There were some that were built into the sides of hills at parks. There was one called the Devil's Hill, or the Devil's Jump, that Devil's Slide, I'm sorry, that they would take and do. That was much smaller, but in 1939 they started building the scaffold for the jump that you currently see now. In fact, that scaffold was 156 feet when it was originally built. Now it's 176 feet, so they gained about 20 feet on there. But so our 2 organizations, Kiwanis Club, Kiwanis Ski Club, as well as Pine Mountain, has been kind of running parallel to each other for all those years. There were 2 ski patrollers that were on during the Fred Pabst years, Laverne Trepp and Irving Johnson. And during World War II, the National Ski Patrol became a really big recruiting arm for the Army, and had talked a number of their ski patrollers into going into the World War II as skiers in what was called the 10th Mountain Division. Both Laverne Trepp and Irving Johnson were members of that. And when they came back home, they had found out a couple things about Pine Mountain. Pine Mountain had actually had to close in 1944 to 1945 because of gas rationing, as well as there was a big fire that swept through the area, took down what was the remainder of the tow rope, took down the warming hut, took down everything. So they decided, you know what, we really want to make this a nice family area still for the Iron Mountain area, and they had purchased the property. When they purchased the property, then they needed to have some sort of a warming shack. And I'm actually sitting right now in the Sitzmark bar that you can still go into today, which was our original chalet. If you take a look around throughout the Sitzmark, you'll actually see that there's an awful lot of planking that went into this, a lot of wood. And what those were the packing crates that they used to assemble the gliders for World War II. That the Ford plant over in Kingsford had done an awful lot of putting together the gliders, but they had all this leftover wood. So Laverne Trepp and Irving Johnson went out, got that wood, built up our original chalet. And then it's extended out beyond that. Well, the families had continued to run the hill up until about the mid-90s. And we had been actually one of the foremost places in the area due to trains coming in from Chicago, as well as we were one of the first in the area that considered grooming our hills. We were one of the first that considered making our own snow, as well as in the late 60s, Laverne and Irving jumped in a car, drove on out, found a used chairlift that they had purchased and bought back and installed it. So we were one of the first aerial chairlifts also in the area. Pine Mountain has been an innovator to all of these things. And unfortunately, when the Trepp family had decided to settle down, there were some other owners that had come on in, and while they really wanted to run the place successful for the area and run the place successful for families, it just didn't work. Well, now we're celebrating our 80th anniversary, and we want everybody to come on out, take a look at the wonderful history that's around the building, as well as take a look at all of the new updates that our ownership has done in order to be able to make the hotel much more friendly, to be able to recontour our hill. And we're looking forward to everybody coming on out and helping us celebrate our 80th anniversary. So throughout the season, we're going to have a number of different events that we have, things like Mardi Gras Day days, things like the crazy Olympic days. We're going to have all kinds of different things for people to be able to enjoy this season. Make your plans now to come on out and enjoy your time with us.
So much fun at Pine Mountain.